Facebook. I am Liz Ross Miller. I'm the face behind the ORA Facebook page. And I am here with Stephanie Harvey, the amazing, amazing author, coach. I mean, anything. Stephanie, I have 3 of your books. Love them all.
So glad.
Yeah, so how you're enjoying Portland so far?
It's great. We had this great day today with fabulous teachers and sponsored by the Oregon Reading Association. It was terrific, and I hope people seem to like it and enjoy it. We had a really good day talking a lot about getting kids to read more. It was a big issue, right? About making sure we build in time for them to read. People seemed responsive, and I didn't really get to see much of Portland, unfortunately, because I got here last night, late, and now I'm here with you. But yeah, I love the Northwest, though.
Awesome. So, what inspired you to become an author and a speaker and an advocate of reading?
Oh, that's such a great question, and I think, I became a teacher very early on. I was about 21 or so years old, like right out of college, or 1971, and I'll tell you what inspired me is the kids. So I always loved kids. I was a camp counselor, I was a lifeguard, I was a babysitter, all those kinds of things. But when I became a teacher, I really found that it was the kids who just made it so incredibly engaging and fun. And I was teaching at a time that wasn't so much fun, desks and rows, no talking. So I would go out on the playground with them to get to know them. I felt like I couldn't get to know them in my classroom. But now things have changed, and we can get to know kids. But I think just they're so open and so interesting, and they just made me want to spend more and more time with them and stuff. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So tell us about your book, Strategies That Work.
Okay, well, Strategies That Work is going to be coming out in its 3rd edition.
Ooh.
And the 1st edition was in 2000, and it is a book that's based on the research of P. David Pearson and his research associates and others, and they looked at what strategies do proficient readers use to read well, and they were able to isolate about 6 or 7 strategies, questioning, inferring, connecting. And since the book was written first in 2000, there's more research than there was before. So we have been really excited. We've seen that teachers teach these strategies to kids, and they come back and tell us that their kids have never understood so well, their kids have never engaged so much. So that's really the book. I was lucky because a couple of friends, Ellen Keene, Ann Goodfist, Debbie Miller, we were all together in Denver and worked together a lot, and was together. We all wrote a number of books that were related to this topic. So yeah.
And Ellen's going to be here for our Winter Institute, so hopefully you guys can make it to that.
And so is Chris Giovanni, I think.
Yes.
Who's also one of our old friends in this whole world. Yes, that's great.
So you've been able to visit a ton of classrooms. What is one thing that makes a successful classroom?
Interaction. Kids interacting with each other, kids interacting, teachers and kids interacting with text. It really is the highest link to student achievement and to student learning is engagement. And the highest link to engagement is interaction. When kids are interactive, when kids are having a chance to do the talking and do the work, they learn at levels that we dream about. So going to classrooms where I see lots of activity among kids and teachers facilitating that, that's probably one of the things that marks them for me. Yeah.
All right, so I'm a tech coach, so I want to know a little bit about, let's talk technology integration. A big thing right now is going one-to-one in schools. How can we integrate and still make sure that we're having best practices in our literacy instruction?
And I think that's such a great question, and there's so many advantages that tech offer that kids these days are going to have access to that we, of course, never did. And as someone who has spent some time, and we wrote a book with a couple of wonderful teachers from the Chicago Public Schools on technology integration with literacy, one of the things that we found is it's not about the technology, it's what you choose to do with it, right? It's how you use it. And there are so many amazingly cool things you can do with kids. So we oftentimes will be reading a big book, but having kids responding in drawing pad. Or we'll be reading from an iPad and they'll be jotting on Post-its. So we integrate a lot of both so that kids are seeing that tech can be used with print, without print. And one of my favorite things that kids can do with technology is they can talk to people all over the world, and that's really great. And so, you know, we do a lot with inquiry-based learning, and kids are studying about various, maybe studying polar bears and you know, the North Pole, and they can talk to some researcher about that. So I think that's really fabulous. I also love surveys. You know, it's so great for kids to go around, kindergartners, to find out what would be the best class pet, you know, and what kids think, and then going online and finding out what makes a good class pet. So, you know, all those kinds of things I think are really fabulous. I just don't think, we always want to, books matter, and we want to see books and print as well as digital stuff.
I completely agree. So one last question for you, specifically for Oregon teachers. I know in Oregon, things have been really challenging. We're underfunded, huge class sizes. I know when I taught first grade, had almost 30 kids. So what is just kind of some words of encouragement for the Oregon teachers out there with facing these challenges?
Oh, it's such a good question. And 30 is, for 30 little kids, is not effective. However, one of the things that we know is that engagement really maximizes opportunities. So even with a large number of kids, if we're doing stuff that's engaging them, it won't seem like such a big group. So one of the things we like to do is get kids close to us, particularly in large groups, because it's like proximity almost neutralizes the size of a class, right? So we also want to make sure that kids have amazing text, because if they've got really great books they can and want to read, really great text they can and want to read, screen stuff they can and want to read, that can engage them while we're working with others. What doesn't work is putting kids on a bunch of packets and things like worksheet packets, things like that, because when we do that, we think maybe it'll keep them busy, but in fact, it's really boring, and that's when management goes out the window. So for us, you know, issues of management all but disappear when kids are engaged. So even, I wish that you didn't have classes this size. And of course, we all know that if classrooms, particularly at the early levels, you know, young kids, are smaller, it's going to be more effective. But there are ways to neutralize it and to make it work. And I think I'd have great text, lots of opportunities for kids to talk to one another, lots of opportunities for kids to be really engaged, because if they are, management issues disappear, I think.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for coming to Portland. It was a joy to have you. And I hope that those of you guys watching will be able to join us for the Winter Institute February 10th and 11th. It'll be a blast.
It'll be great. Yeah. Both Chris Devani and Ellen Keene are fabulous, great friends of mine, and amazingly thoughtful, knowledgeable scholars and presenters and teachers, first and foremost. So we wish you the best.
Thank you so much. Bye.